seems not to be well with Dangote recently. He's said to be the richest man in Africa, Nigerian's business magnate, Aliko Dangote. Allegations have been put forward, and this involve an alleged rape and psychological manipulation of the wife of a businessman called Kevin Aje Nifuja. Aje Nifuja, with an intention to steal his trade secrets. Court's document obtained by an investigative platform called Gazette, People's Gazette, said Mr. Ajeni Fuja said he had developed the technique and process of a sector exchange traded funds for Africa in June 2004 after over 10 years of research. Now, a lot of you might not buy into this story. You might say, oh, it's a lie. That's because we have this mentality in Nigeria, particularly, where you worship people who have money. As long as someone is with cash, popular, you care less about anything that is put towards the person. As long as someone is popular in Nigeria, once something comes up against them or they are said to, have acted in a certain way that is improper, you believe that they are mini gods. Probably this is as a result of the idol background of a lot of Africans. I wouldn't know. They tend to worship people who are popular or people who have money, particularly people who have money. Well, this man has brought forward an allegation, and I'm not saying this is what has happened, but according to him, he said he developed a technique, he developed a business technique, and it's a joint one. He developed a technique and process of a sector exchange traded funds for Africa, not just Nigeria, for Africa. In a lawsuit filed by the businessman on August 2nd, 2019, Mr. Dangote allegedly made arrangements on how Mr. Ajene Fuja, 22 weeks pregnant wife, was dragged, and how young men slept with her with the intention of stealing his trade secrets. Mr. Ajene Fuja alleged that Mr. Dangote connived with some World Bank Group employees precisely on February 8, 2010, to invite his then wife, to a meeting at a Catholic mission in Washington, D.C. area where she was allegedly given illicit drugs. Now, this might sound or look like a conspiracy or a movie set, but there are terrible things that happen in this world. Being rich, being popular does not mean that you are not, that the person is not involved in such complex criminal activities. The Gazette also learned in the lawsuit that Miss Anita was also given opioid, that is opioid medications on a regular basis, which she became addicted to. She subsequently engaged in extramarital affairs with young men near Washington, and the troubling situation was subsequently used to blackmail her into turning against her husband until she handed over his trade secrets to Mr. Dangote. Now, Mr. Jenny Fuja is a Nigerian, and the woman is a Caucasian, and there are a lot of things, it is easy to set someone up in order to get information. And don't think that Dangote is just rich because he has connections with certain people in Nigeria and they give him opportunities, monopoly, and all of that. There are a lot of things that Dangote needs to keep himself afloat. Do not forget that recently he's being dragged here and there. The debtors, the people that he is indebted to, the people he borrowed money from to finance certain things here and there, they are onto him and they are trying to get his business down. They're trying to get the latest business that is onto down. Dangote did not just become a rich man by just getting rich that way, like he's so diligent and he knows how to do the job. That's not just how he got into it. He got into this money as a result of the system that we have in Nigeria and certain other people who is connected to in the north of Nigeria. And of course, Obasanjo will finally make sure that everything goes smooth for Dangote. I don't think he did that because he is just in love with Dangote or in love with other people that he tried to raise, the billionaires that he tried to raise in Africa, in Nigeria. There are certain things that must come back to Obasanjo too. So there are people who are behind Dangote. And now things are beginning to kind of fall apart. He's still a very rich man, yes, obviously a very rich man. But there are people who are richer than Dangote who got money directly from the source. It's like what they give to Dangote, our opportunity they give to Dangote is just droppings here. And because he's involved in business, he can be put on Forbes and every other place. And Forbes is no longer what it used to be. They don't do diligent work. We've seen fraudsters that have been put on Forbes. So being on Forbes does not necessarily mean that you are there. It's just your whatever it is that they know about you that they just put out there. So Dangote being said to be the richest businessman in Africa, yes, that could be correct, but that's because that is what has been put forward. There are people who are behind Dangote. There are people who have more money than Dangote, and all of them are criminals. Many of them are politicians. You all know what the wife to Abacha said. He said, if you take everything off from us, we cannot be as broke as Dangote. That's to let you know that Dangote is just a boy. When it comes to a criminal loot asset that these people have stolen and money that they have everywhere. That's to let you know that there are a lot that is in this thing called money, money, money. Well, I do not know if this is true, but what has been put out there, and a court is actually looking into this, and the secrets that Dangote wanted, she wanted to penetrate the woman, and according to the man, he used certain people that could connect to the woman, a Caucasian, and she was blackmailed. The World Bank denied the allegations, and the court rejected Mr. Ajenifuja's lawsuit because it was statute barred. That's what it is. So, well, it's going to be very difficult for this man to prove this, but he might want to go further. But as you can see, he's not even in good, he's no longer in good terms with the wife. So as a statute barred, it's no longer legally enforceable owing to a prescribed period of limitation having lapsed, meaning this man did not come up at the time that he is supposed to come up with the news, with all of this evidence. So it's going to be a bit difficult for them to look into this case. And moreover, this has to do with certain top individuals aside Dangote. It has to do with World Bank, some set individuals in this World Bank. And these guys are connected. They are not just people by the way. They are connected with some other secret societies and some other, politicians, in Europe, in America, and all of that. A spokesman for Mr. Dangote declined comments about the lawsuit when reached by the Gazette on Wednesday afternoon. The businessman only confirmed the theft of his trade secrets in December 2016 after several investigations. While Africa's richest man alleged actions caused issues between the plaintiff and his wife, Dangote resigned as the president of the Nigerian Stock Exchange in 2014, a year before the expiration of his term, to conceal his involvement. That's what the lawsuit says. So there are a lot of things that happen that you need to. Yes, Dangote, he resigned too early from the Nigerian Stock Exchange in 2014. And according to this report, he did this quickly to cover up his involvement. Dangote took many by surprise in 2014 when he announced his intention to step down as the president during the 53rd annual meeting of the NSE held in Lagos, making the first to step down before the end of his term. On information and belief, defendant Dangote resigned to conceal his involvement in what happened to plaintiff and Anita Koepik. That's the name of the woman now. She's no longer Anita Ajenifuja. Mr. Ajenifuja said in court document, Dangote had cited the need to have more time for the execution of his company's expansion across Africa as a basis for his resignation. Ajenifuja said it was around December 2014 that he searched for the missing copies of the trade secrets and suspected that they had been stolen by Mr. Dangote via ex-wife Anita. Ajenifuja alleged that the trade secrets were sold to Vetiva Funds Manager Limited Lagos, one of Mr. Dangote had close business relationship with. So it could even be Dangote's business, but with a name that how people open up branches of themselves, but without having direct connection with that branch. That's just what it is. Vetiva Sector Series Exchange Traded Funds ETF, comprising the Vetiva Banking ETF, Vetiva Consumer Goods ETF, and Vetiva Industrial ETF, was announced on July 7, 2015. That is after the trade secret got got missing. The spokesperson for Vetiva could not be reached for comments throughout Wednesday. Ajay Fuja said the affairs caused severe emotional suffering because his home was foreclosed by the mortgage company as a result of loss of income. The document said Ajay Fuja also demanded $1 billion as released compensatory damages against Mr. Dangote and others for the alleged theft of his trade secrets. In their separate motion, the WBGA sought to dismiss the case on the grounds that it was immune from suit, while Mr. Dangote sought for dismissal for lack of personal jurisdiction. So Dangote did not say, I did not do it. It's just they look for some legal, very big legal arrangements to just get himself off from it. It's quite unfortunate anyway that this happened to this man. If truly the trade secret got missing, don't say no, it's not possible. What does Dangote? That would be mediocre. That would be foolishness to say Dangote does not need this trade secret. Dangote could need it so as to probably sit on top of his game, to be the man on top. Or Dangote could have done this so as to expand his own empire. Getting this trade secret enables him to do. And moreover, Dangote could also have been contacted by other big top businessmen who are on top of the game. And they contacted him, say, look, there's this Nigerian guy. Why don't you? So these guys do a lot of things. Don't just look at Dangote and think he just got there because his brain is too, is just so bright and he's just blessed. No, there are a lot of things that people do to keep themselves relevant. There are a lot of things people do, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of dirty things that they get themselves involved in to make sure that they remain on top, or to pay back to someone who has helped them in life too. Probably some other businessmen or someone has helped them to cover up some things. So if the person say, look, it's time for you to pay, we need this for the payment of this one that we covered up for you. So these things could be there. But as it is, somehow this man has lost the case.